All right, hey guys, back for hole 3 here, revision. Just trying to think of what I did yesterday. I believe I had a massive wind. I might just bring a globe just to see what it looks like and just try to decide from there. Aside from that, let me bring B52 just as a backup approach, just in case I bail out of this shot. But I will set up to go for it temporarily, just in case. We'll just try to do, basically a revision on what I did yesterday. If we get a relatively good wind, and good wind, I'm kind of thinking 18-ish miles per hour. As you guys may or may not know, Masters winds vary between 15 and 19. So, if you get something a little bit more towards, 18 to 19, that's going to be kind of best case scenario. And to be honest with you, a very favorable wind. But I believe I had very close to that yesterday. It was maybe 17 something, 18-ish. I forget the exact details of the number. I kind of know where I aimed. I probably should have at least double checked that aim and everything and win, but I didn't. At the very least, I might just bail out, and if it's really not a really good wind, I'm not even gonna attempt going up that way, because I just don't find it to be very resourceful if you can't get up at least to quarter club wedge distance. Not wedge, but rough iron. And when that's 11.4, it is a favorable wind, but I think it's more in the 17s, right around 17 actually. So we'll just have to see, if I get a better wind than my opponent or a worse. They always give you slightly different wind, so it's a 50-50 shot whether or not I get a little bit higher wind than he does or a little bit smaller wind. It'd be nice to get on the north end of that. But all things considered, if we don't, we're just going to bail out, and we will, go for this layup shot as well, and we'll just try to, work through getting a albatross kind of a different way. So let's take a look. 18.5, so it looks like I got maybe a little bit better wind than my opponent. The biggest problem with this wind is how angled it is. Now, I do remember, I know I laid off, and I can't remember if I right spun it or not. I'm going to just try to maybe barely right spin it, kind of like this, and just try to focus on this landing zone. I do feel that it's going to be way over here somewhere into the rough. It is going to come back when I actually, go for this shot. It is going to come back very much to the right. So you do need to get it way out to the left there. As you can see how aggressive that is landing on that side. And you can see that I'm still quite a ways short, but I do feel a lot better about that shot than I did yesterday. So getting it up there, in my opinion, if I get it past those trees, that's a little bit better than this shot. That is, still a sniper. So in my opinion, I'd rather be where I am than where this person is. I have a feeling that, if I hit perfect ball, I'm going to be within a cup every time. Whereas, from way back here, you still got to execute and you still got to hit perfect ball. So, in my opinion, there's no more favorable to lay back if you can get it. Now, it's only conditional to really hitting a very nice drive like I got it down here. And you can see depth-wise, I really got this up towards the hole. We're going to see if I can try to estimate this. So I usually play that at about 1.5, which would put this about 3 per ring, which puts this maybe about 6 something per ring. 6 something per ring, 7 per ring, somewhere in there. I might try to land more up on the north end of the fairway here, kind of right in here, and you know, go at least 2.5 rings here towards 3. And I did catch perfect ball, and like I said, you know, anytime you do catch perfect ball, you can just know that it's going to be, you know, spot on, really, really close. I did just barely over adjust it. I was just a little bit long on my calculation, you know, probably was more spot on 6 per ring. So if I would have went almost right on 2.5 there, it would have been virtually spot on. But you can see that, you know, the level of precision that you can get when you're in there tighter, especially with a perfect ball, you know, if I can guarantee hitting it, you know, as that being kind of my farthest, that's basically as far as I could have ever missed, and it was about a cup outside. So, you know, it basically just comes down to perfect ball. And, you know, let's just say hypothetically I did hit a great ball there. Well, it might have been very close to going in as well. So a great ball to the right there might have, you know, might have just missed right, but, you know, it's another, you know, factor that being in that close really does give you a very nice advantage possible hole out. So, you know, just something to keep in mind, that going for that, if you feel you can get it down there close enough, about as close as I just did right there, it is going to be favorable. Otherwise, it's just going to be, you know, lay into the fairway there and try to get it to B52 distance. Another thing you can try to do is, you know, you can bring better wind balls. We can bring a bunny ball, or, you know, if you still have some Thanksgiving balls, even if you don't, if you picked up the new Cinco balls, you can probably get away with that as well. So those balls will, if you are laying up, just something to keep in mind that, you know, can give you that extra edge to make that one. So we are going to try to estimate this fairway a little bit. You're actually going to see me kind of left spin it here because I'm so worried about, you know, the wind effects. It's going to basically, the wind effects are essentially going to be my curl. So I'm essentially, you know, factoring that into the equation. And aside from that, you know, I'm going to play very spot on, kind of similarly to how I would 12-ish rings, 13-ish rings. That's how I would usually play it. You know, anytime you go to a higher elevation like that, it does make things a little bit harder. And you can see that, you know, the counterintuitive spin that I just put on that, you know, most people, you know, they're thinking to put kind of a crazy looking spin. And, you know, I was spot on with the way that I played that. Well, didn't I just do left spin even? You know, I was basically letting the wind be my hook, be my curl. So it's just kind of one of those ironic things that, you know, you always want to be thinking about when you're playing shootouts. And I think you're going to, you know, increase the performance of your game if you can just, you know, creatively be always thinking about that. So good luck there with hole number 3. Hopefully you guys can get that Alba. Worst case scenario, you know, easy eagle. And, you know, see you guys on the next one. Hole number 4 coming up.